question I've been asked a lot is, Trip, how do you plan your adventures? Well, this video I'm going to get to that and answer your questions and just kind of go through my whole process of how I do it. So let's check it out. Let's go to my computer. That's where I do it all.
Alright, well there's a lot that goes into planning an adventure. Now some of the tools I use are things like I use Google Maps and then Google itself, Google the search engine. But probably the best thing that I have is going to be Google Earth. So let's check that out. It's free to download, so if you don't have it already, go get it. It's similar to Google Maps, but there's just so much more you can do with it. So now it's going to go about to where I'm at. So you can see it's got all these words and colors and stuff, and I guess you could say trails or maps or lines. I don't know what you want to call them. But these are basically my routes that you can put on. These right here, this is where I measured out and mapped out the P River here and the Choctawhatchee River over here. And so I mapped them all out, and you can actually, there's a tool on here, your tools, ruler. You can use this, go to path, and you can actually measure a distance. So like 3.89 miles right there. So that's what I did here in very small increments. I would just go down the river clicking. Click, 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 and basically go down the whole river, and that gets my mileage. And as you're going down the river, measuring it, you get a good look at every little bit of the river. So a lot of times you can catch like waterfalls or trees across the river or forks in the river or different cool things on the sides. And you can see how many sandbars there are, to know that those are good for camping and things like that. And there's just all kinds of really cool stuff that you'll find as you just go down the river measuring it, and it kind of makes you familiar with things. So it's very handy. Now, river trips, there's not as much that goes into them in the actual planning because you're basically just going down the river. So all you really have to do to plan is a start and a finish point. Like I knew I was going to start right up here at the 231 Highway 231 bridge, where I had someone drop me off, and then I knew that I was going to be picked up down at this little park down here in Geneva, Alabama. I actually paddled down here and went back upstream to the park right here, and had someone pick me up there. So it's pretty convenient for me because I don't live far from these locations. I actually live in the Dothan area, so it's like a 30-minute drive this way, 30-minute drive that way. So it wasn't really inconvenient or super inconvenient for me to ask someone to drop me off and pick me up. So that's what I do. Try to do on my river trips. But there's other things you can do. Contact people. I don't know, Uber or something. I don't know if you want to do something kind of like that. But there's just different methods. It's you may have to be resourceful if you're traveling far from home and aren't able to get someone to pick you up. Just take a couple vehicles, like if you're not going by yourself. So, but what is more difficult to plan, or I don't want to say more difficult, but more involved to plan, is a beach trip. Oh, there's my phone notification. All right, so you can see, like here, when I went to Panama City, I had to plan a launch site. That's a pretty important part. So I'm from the area. I've spent a lot of time down in Panama City, so I knew there was this real cool kayak launch here, but I didn't know where to park. So, I did get lucky, and I actually know people who own a beach house right here. I was like, hey, can I park my vehicle for like 3 days over there? And they were like, oh, absolutely, Trip. Don't worry about it. So I got real lucky. That's like super, super short walking distance to the launch site. So I did that and had a secure place to park my vehicle. But if I didn't, what would I have done? Well, there's different things you can do. You can find, like a lot of times marinas will allow overnight parking. And I know that there's a marina up here called City Marina that allows overnight parking. So I could have parked there. It would have increased my paddle distance. Let's just see real quick how far this is to the pass. So about 3 3/4 miles. So that's not too bad. So that would have been too inconvenient to park over there. But like if I wanted to launch at this launch site, all right, I just get on Google Maps or Google Earth and I look around. I try to find like a hotel All right, so here's, looks like a little hotel over here. So I would have probably walked into the lobby and said, hey, blah, 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 I'm doing this little camping trip on my kayak. I'm going to launch right over here. Do y'all mind if I park? And you'll be surprised. They may say, sure, go ahead. We don't care, because that's actually happened to me in Fort Walton. So, oh, doorbell. Let me pause this. So what was at the door? A ridiculously generous package from a subscriber. Almost just too much. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. You know who you are. Thank you. Gracious. All right, I gotta get, man. All right, where was I? Thank you. Okay. Goodness gracious. All right, so I can't concentrate now. All right, so now here's another place that I went. Man, goodness gracious. I'm flustered. All right, so finding a campsite. So here's where I went to. Is this Fort Walton? No, Orange Beach. When I went to Orange Beach, I put in the kayak. Where did I go? I parked. Here we go. I parked like right here. Put the kayak in here, and I knew that I wanted to, spend time in all this gorgeousness. Right? Isn't that beautiful? So I knew I wanted to spend time there. So I was thinking, all right, I'd love to camp on some of these 3 islands. So I have a hammock. So I need to find some trees. So I'm going to go around here and look for trees. So I'm looking around the islands. Not really much here. Not much here. But I'm looking here. I'm like, okay, these look like some trees. And, sometimes it's hard to tell if it's bushes or if it's trees. But you can see there's a big shadow there. So that's probably going to be a tree. Big shadow there. That's probably going to be a tree. Over here, kind of a big group with a shadow. Okay, so that looks like a big old tree and maybe some other trees over here. So, okay, so I think those are trees. But how can I know for sure? Well, there's another tool. I'm going to go over here to Google, and I'm just at Google Maps, and I'm going to go down to Orange Beach, to where I was. And Google, being as cool as it is, you can go, what's here? And you can get your street view. So let's check out Street View, see what we can find out about our little island. Look at there. So here's our islands. You can see there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. So here's, oops. Alright, so here's the one I was thinking about camping on. So I see the little trees I saw at first. And over here I've got some other larger trees. Now that looks like I could hang a hammock. And fortunately, that's exactly where I hung my hammock. So I kind of had a game plan before I started. And I knew, out here, there's some good snorkeling. Here's that one reef. There's one jetty I snorkeled out here. Then the other one where I saw the sea turtle here. So, it's pretty cool. You can really get a feel for things and like the size and stuff for Google Street View. So that's pretty neat. Sometimes you can use that. Sometimes it doesn't always work, because there's not always a street there. But but you can be creative. Like imagine there's probably a street view here. Matter of fact, let's go see. Is there a street view over here? What's here? Look at there. Does it go this way? Yes, we can go that way. We can go this way more. That's about it. So we can look at these. Look at there. Here's our trees. Right here's where I hunkered down in the lightning storm. But you can just, you can get a good view of things. So technology is our friend. All right, and then something else. You can, Google has these photos. Well, how did I get there? Here we go. Yeah, it's got these photos that are kind of cool you can use, so you can see, get different points of view. Sometimes you'll get lucky. Look, Roberts Island. Decent. So I'm actually in the process of trying to figure out where I'm going to go next. It's still kind of warm down here in the south, being it's August 30th right now. I'm thinking of going to the beach. I love the beach. So somewhere I haven't been yet is over here in Port St. Joe, St. Joseph Bay, and Cape San Blas. It's a very beautiful place. So I'm just going to walk you through the whole thing. So I just started this morning, but of course I've looked at it, hundreds of times before, because I just kind of get on Google Maps and just look, because I'm weird and I like finding new places to go. All right, so the first thing I do, all right, I've got a spot where I know I want to go. So I need to find, okay, can I park here? So I've done some research, and there's a park over here. I think it's like there's a little RV park, and they even have some primitive, like, designated camping spots somewhere around here. I'm not really sure where they are. I think they're maybe out here, which is awesome because that's kind of where I'd like to go. So if they have designated camping spots and they're actually made for paddlers on kayaks, then they're going to have somewhere for you to park. But let's say that they didn't have anywhere for you to park. Well, like designated, you could go and you can just go up to the park and ask or call them. More than likely, they're going to say no because state parks are kind of strict. But then you go to another option. All right, you can check boat ramps. Most boat ramps do not allow overnight parking in Florida, but you can check that out, and you can do that. You can get some good local information by going to Facebook and look up like kayak fishing. Like, let's see, I know Mexico Beach is kind of a big city there. Fishing, like Mexico Beach fishing. Boom. All right, go to this public group, and groups are better than pages. Because pages are kind of like businesses. Groups are just groups of people who are whatever interested. So you can join the group, and you can start, post on the group a question, and they'll answer. So that's pretty handy. You can message people within the group and stuff like that. So you can find a lot of really, really good firsthand and up-to-date information there. But if you didn't have that, I'd go and I'd look real close down here for any hotels, but I've already done it, and I know there aren't any. So I kept going around, and I found there's an RV park, right here. And a lot of times you can park at RV parks. I know when I took my sailboat down to Florida Keys, I actually parked at an RV park, my truck and trailer. So you can ask them to park there. If there's a little marina, you can go to the marina and say, hey, can I park here? And they may say, sure, or $5 a night, or $25 a night, like happened to me one time. Also in the Florida Keys, another trip. But then, you can go on to the city, and what do we got here? Looks like, see, I've never really been here or paid attention here. I've driven through it. All right, you've got all these, like, parking lots. Like, a lot of times, if it's a busy parking lot that, like a Walmart, and it doesn't say no parking, you can park there. But here we go. Look, we got a launch place over here. So, all right, you'd have a good spot to launch. But you could ask this marina. They may just let you park out here. Or if there's a little hotel or something, you could ask the hotel owner, here's another park. You never know. They could allow overnight parking there. So there's a lot of places to check. Just take some research, do your due diligence, and you'll find somewhere. All right, so now finding a campsite. Well, I know that there's designated campsites here, so I don't really have to find them. Let's say that they weren't. I'm going to just go down and say, all right, can I get to the beach easy? Looks like there's a bunch of reeds there, which aren't always fun to go through. But yeah, see, there's spots you can get to the beach. There you go. You can get to the beach all around there. So, okay. Look at there. What are those little camp houses or something? But, looks like you can get to the beach here. So if you get there, you'll have somewhere to camp. But also you can go over here and you can enable, where's it at? Photos, which is pretty awesome. All right. So you just see all these little photo icons popped up. You can just click on them. Let's see what it looks like. Here we go. See, that doesn't look very good for camping. How about up here? Can't tell much from that one. What about this one? Stingray. Oh, what happened to his tail? Where's a good one? Bayside. Okay. Now that looks pretty good for camping. But you can keep going. There's a good one I saw earlier. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Nice clear water. Good trees up on a high bank. Get some good breeze up there. So, you can tell a lot from these pictures. It was like a really good picture I saw somewhere. Was it down here? Yeah, see that's cool. That's pretty cool. So you can get a lot. Look at there. Now that is cool. Now, Maritime Nature Hammock Trail, or Hammock Nature Trail. So you may not want to camp there because it's a nature trail. There could be people there. Oh, man. That's cool. Imagine just a hammock just like right here, right by the water. Yep, this is where I need to go. So you can learn a lot by these pictures. Okay, and then you know, you can take a look at the land or the landscape, whatever you want to call it. And you know, it looks like, okay, there's probably a lot of crabs out here. So it's probably a pretty good spot. Let's see, what is this? Okay, look at there. There's somebody on a kayak. So, all right, this is a good spot to kayak, right? So we've learned a lot about this. All right, so I made a call down to the park at Cape San Blas, and the kind lady sent me some information. She sent me this map, and I can park, I believe, down here at the parking lots, and then camp at a few different designated campsites. They're numbered 1 through 7, and I think I've kind of found them here on Google Earth, and I've kind of made my map, made like a little plan. So you've got your parking right down here, right past the little cabins that we saw earlier. What is this? That's the stingray photo. And then as you move up, you see here I've already measured it. So we'll go to the properties, measurement. So it's 5 miles. This measurement I made, this path. So I made parking to number 7, 5 miles. So that's probably the route I'd generally take, you know. And up here to campsite number 7. And you can see wilderness campsite number 7 looks pretty awesome by this photo by DM Tilley. So that's not too bad. And then it's just another short little jaunt around to the Gulf. So it's pretty cool. And I found out, you know, there is parking allowed. You have to make reservations. It's like $5 a night per person. And like the reservations are first come, first serve. So, or the reservation for the actual site is first come, first serve. But you can make a reservation for the day in advance, but not for the actual site. But I asked her that if I come during the week, if it'll be crowded. She said no, there's generally not many people there during the week, so it shouldn't be an issue. Go down there and get a campsite during the week. So I'll plan this trip. This will be my next trip, more than likely. So it's pretty simple to do all this, guys and gals. If y'all have any other questions you want me to elaborate on, let me know. I'm going to sit here and think if there's some more things that I've missed.
I hope this helped kind of clear some things up and make it where you can plan your next adventure, because that's what I want you to do. I want to inspire you to go on your own adventure. So whatever I can do to make it easier for you to go, let me know, and I want to try to make it happen. So that being said, I know I didn't cover everything or go into great detail about some things. So if you'd like to see something else, I'm thinking maybe like a little short video on actually how to use Google Earth and kind of how to do the little place markers and a little more on how to draw the paths and measure things. I may do that if y'all think it'd be helpful. And also, I think I'm going to do like a dedicated how to plan a river trip, which might include all of that. Or I may do it separate. I don't know. I'm about to go inside and kind of maybe do that now and see how it goes. But whatever you want to see, let me know. And I'll see what I can do to get to it. May not get to all of it, but I'll get to some of it. So, thanks for watching. I hope this really helped y'all clear things up. Thanks for everyone's support, for all the questions and comments and emails that you guys get, all the positive feedback and the negative feedback, whatever. I don't get much of that, thank goodness. But thanks a lot for watching. Check out the rest of my videos. Go on an adventure. Go. Just go. All right. Thank y'all. God bless.